Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 31 of Project Ozone 3. I've made a huge mistake. If you look at our drives, you'll see they're mostly full, and the ones that aren't full are like 2 bytes away from being full. They're very close to full. And what happened was, I remember last episode when we set up our quarry to mine Frisicon ore? We mined a lot of Frisicon ore. A lot of it. 10 million. And turns out that 10 million ores takes up just about all of our drive space. Initially, it was being stored in this drawer system, but these drawers are voided. So at some point, I was like, wait a second, I don't want to store it here because I'm voiding it. So I ended up setting this drawer system to extract only, but then it started storing them in our ME drives. But then we filled up our drives, and then once your drives get filled, your ME system it starts struggling. So I'm thinking about trying to store them in barrels now. But I've run into an issue when connecting barrels to the ME system. You see, I had it connected earlier. It's broken by a cable now. But what happens is, if you have a locked barrel that's empty, unlike locked drawers that are empty, you can't, or automation is allowed to insert items into it. So let's see, this barrel, right, locked. To get this UI, you shift right click a barrel. Locked, true, and empty. I'm allowed to put items in it as expected. And when I take the items out, it retains the lock as expected. If we turn the lock off, it goes away as expected. Oh, right. If you want to get rid of that data, you have to break it, replace the drawer. Whatever, wait. Why do you retain the data? Hold on. Break. And replace the drawer. Sometimes it retains data when you break it, sometimes not, and I'm not sure why. Anyways, so now we have a barrel locked and empty. If it were a drawer in this way, right, it wouldn't accept item automation, but a barrel does. And that basically means if I hook this up to our ME system, all these empty and would-be locked barrels, they'll just get shoved full of items immediately. From whatever source happens to have items to give. So we can't just use this easily. And then as a result, what I'm thinking is what we'll have to do, we'll have to partition the storage bus and say, these drawers are only for this list of items. And then if we put an infinite capacity upgrade in them, I assume infinite doesn't mean infinite, it means like, can I display bar? Well, it doesn't say a number, but I assume it's big and, like, it's not truly infinite, but it's infinite enough that it won't be a problem. I hope. So now I think any more Frisicon ore we get should get placed into here, and any other items should not, because this is filtered. I hope. I did read that in a later update to this Yaba mod, the barrel mod, they do fix this automation insertion into locked drawers bug. So hopefully at some point when and if the pack updates, this isn't a problem. I know there is a pack update available now that I haven't installed because it has a handful of game-breaking bugs that I am choosing not to deal with because I can just not update the pack. So anyways, with all the barrels locked now, let's I guess the easiest way to see if I grab some of this ore, it should take it out of the drives. Yeah, so that 64 is still there. And when I put them back, they should be put into here. Perfect. And they didn't get put into any other drawer. Okay, so now all we have to do is move all the ore from our storage drives into the barrel. There's two ways we can do it. We could either, well, first of all, we can turn our quarry back on. I just turned off the item insert there. So now all those new stacks of ore should come into here. And immediately we have a lot more Frisicon ore coming into here. So what I could do is I could set a export bus on this barrel. Let's see, export bus, Frisicon ore. Probably want acceleration cards, plug it in. And that will slowly export from here, from these drawers, or those drives, into this drawer. And I guess to demonstrate that, let's turn this off once again. Come on. And we should see that this number is still going up. I lied. Wait, is it? Yeah, it is. Okay, it just takes a second to update. And these are the ores that are coming from the drives into here. But this is like 2 stacks a second. And we have 9.5 million. That's a lot of stacks. There's a faster way to do this too. So instead of just using an export bus, we can make a I/O port. Let's see what it's called. All right, our MEIO port. It's basically just 2 ME drives glued together. And its purpose is when supplied with drives, it'll take the contents of the drive and dump them onto the network pretty darn quickly with speed upgrades. And what that means is, it'll put the item in the highest priority slot that it can fit in. Unfortunately, our network is so full that our drives can't fully empty themselves. Instead of working, I have an idea. Instead of working this way, let's work from here back. Essentially, this will do like a defragment of the network. In addition, it'll which drives am I putting back? In addition, it'll cause all the Frisicon ore that's populating these drives to be sent to the barrel. And we'll see now that number went up way quickly. And yeah, the drive is still emptying itself. Now, I'm going to make an extra drive and 10 more cells just to make this process a little bit easier. But it essentially does a defrag on our storage cells. So partway through, you see we have 8,000, 9,000 stacks and counting. When we're done, let's see how many stacks of Frisicon ore are sitting in here. All right, all of our drives have gone through the I/O port, and we now have a lot of room. I mean, some of these are basically, like this whole bay is empty. This is a new bay we just put in. Most of it is empty. This bay is still, once again, mostly empty. And that's largely because we pulled out 9.5 million, items and put them in here, right? And if each item takes a bit, that's over... Hold on. If divided by 8, 9.5 million divided by 8, 1.2, that's almost 1.2 megabytes, shall we say, million bytes. Soon, though, when we can make the super, let's see, the super cells, these, well, where are they? These 100, the 16 megabyte storage components, one 16 megabyte component can hold all of these items. So later, laterish, I'm not quite sure how far off, but at some point we won't have to deal with storing items in barrels anymore because we can effectively make our drive capacity infinite. But we're not at that point yet. So anyways, now that we have all this Frisicon ore, I think, or let's turn this back on, because obviously 9.5 million is not enough, right? I think we can now make that supremium, that supremium coal that we were mining it all for. So my plan is to make 128 of these so we can make a dimension full of it. And we can make it. So let's see. Oh, this is it. This is everything we need apparently. Okay. I made a super processor with a bunch of storage, just so we can handle this recipe. 576,000 bytes. All right, let's go. 40 plus minutes of just crafting. Oh no, 23 minutes. Anyways, this will take a while. So while this goes, let's look at our next project. So I guess I've already mentioned that I want to make the transmutation tablet. And to do that, I've set aside some components already. This is largely the easy bits, basically everything except the matters. I guess we also need to do some insanium ingots. So, well, I guess the first thing we have to do then is we just need this craft to finish because we need the supremium coal. So I guess we're stuck waiting for 20 minutes. Alright, while we wait for that to craft, let's work on our insanium ingots. So insanium ingots take 4 Gaia spirits ingots each, and in fact, once I program this recipe, I can have the AE system tell me how many Gaia essences we need. And I'm pretty sure the answer is more than we have, which means we'll have to go kill the Gaia Guardian a few times. Unfortunately, I don't know any clever trick. I mean, the way we fight the Guardian, Gaia Guardian's already pretty clever. We hit them. Yeah, we need 76 more Gaia Spirit Ingots and a little bit more mana infused. So the way we fight the Gaia Guardian's already pretty clever, with the laser gun. And I'm not sure if I can get much more clever than that. So I think I might just have to go fight the Gaia Guardian a bunch using our laser gun. Yeah, I don't have a better idea. If you do, let me know. But by the time you let me know, I've done it, so it doesn't matter anyways. Remember in previous versions of Britannia, you could fight you could summon multiple Gaia Guardians at once, but apparently that's no longer a thing. Oh well. Fought the Gaia Guardian 8 times, so I think we are now ready to make our 8 Insanium ingots. Cool. Now, one of the next things I want to make takes 4 blocks of Insanium, and I think that's telling me actually that I'm doing things out of order. So maybe after the transmutation table, I was planning on going to the energy condenser, but maybe I should do Wand of Animation first. So Wand of Animation is a neat little trick where you can take any block, any non-entity block, turn it into a mob that drops itself when it dies. Normally that doesn't get you anything, right? If you turn a block of gold into a gold mob and then kill it, you get your block of gold back. But you see these mob duplicators here. These have a special behavior where you can spawn exact copies of a mob. And if you spawn exact copies of that gold block, then each time you kill it, you get a gold block back. And it's a way of, effectively duplicating any block type resource. So between, I know some people have been asking, aren't you worried about lag in the late game in this pack? And to some degree I am, but between the shenanigans you can do with the Wand of Animation, as well as the Transmutation table, a lot of the background processing stuff that takes up a lot of the CPU time goes away, and most of what you're doing is active, which makes for a very different endgame from a lot of other packs. So anyways, I think I'll shift gears here. After finishing the transmutation table, we'll go do the Wand of Animation instead of the energy condenser. So, did I start crafting these? I did not. No, I did. They're just done. And then the other thing that should be done now is, what's it called? Supremium coal. All 128 blocks of these. So let's go make a dimension of Supremium coal as well. Alright, material dimlet block of supremium coal. That's quite a high power cost, but our reactors should be able to keep up with it. I still haven't bothered dealing with the wires. So I've heard a few things. Oh, I fixed one problem I had with the wires, which was that I had a power cell here, which was acting as a gate, right? Because a power cell or an energy cell, which only does 80k RF a tick. I fixed that, and I don't know if how much does this draw? 50k a tick. So yeah, right now there's 300k a tick flowing through the wire. I have no clue where it's going, but it's flowing somewhere. So I think our problem's solved, but I guess we'll find out once we run this dimension, because this will take a lot of power. So I need a few more things. Alright, just like before, empty dimension tab, material, then terrain flat, and we'll call it block of supremium coal. Or just supremium coal. $76k a tick, 30k to maintain. Okay, so when we take this out, this dimension is still good until it runs out of energy. See how it has current power in it? It has like a 40 million internal buffer. Until that buffer runs out, this dimension is still good to go. It'll run out in, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, but until then, all the machines in there will still run, so it's okay to, for short periods of time anyways, unpower dimensions. And see how this one is empty now? Because it's empty, I wouldn't want to go in there. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Maybe these wires don't like being cyclic. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the wires. I'm just gonna once I get the transmutation table done, I think I'm just gonna swap every wire out for the cryo flux ducts. Cryo stabilized flux duct, right? Because these don't have any. Whatever. I can buy these and then just fill them with cryothium. Because while cryothium dust doesn't have an EMC value, all the components that make it do. while that dimension builds, I want to run a small test. So right now our reactor's, turning on and off as needed. If I put a trash can somewhere on our main power line, I should see, yeah, this gets drawn all the way to 0, which means we are transmitting at least this full amount of power to the trash can, right? Because basically, in comparison, the rest of the load of the base is 0 compared to what the trash can can eat. Likewise, over here, are these power buffers empty now? They are. So, like, we're transmitting all 300k of this power into that trash can. And these are empty, although these don't have fuel. Why don't these have fuel? Oh, right. It's probably because we're not producing uranium fast enough. Yeah, we don't have enough uranium-238. And yeah, like, these machines are even slightly starved for power because the trash can's stealing it all. So, like, we can observe that we have at least the 300k from this reactor and the 100 some k from this reactor being transmitted successfully to the trash can, which is why I find it weird that sometimes machines seem to struggle on energy when we just saw that the wire can transmit at least 400 kr a tick. But whatever, that's a problem for another time, right? Like, look at this here. This machine is only receiving 47k a tick. And now that I've taken the trash can away, these should all be filling up their buffers. They're not. Where is all this energy going? That's so weird. Am I losing energy somewhere? No, I don't think I'm losing energy somewhere. I think the only reason why this was still running at full power all that time was because it was filling up buffers that I had drained while I had the trash can on the network. So anyways, I tested another theory. I remember the dimension editor or dimension builder does have a per side energy input limit, but I'm inputting into 3 sides and it's getting the same amount of energy, or perhaps even less energy, than when I was only inputting on 1 side. That's not it. But whatever. This dimension is charged. It has enough power that I feel confident going into it. So let's go there. We can dial base to premium coal. Actually, before we go, I am going to bring this with me, just in case the base shouldn't get unloaded, but if for whatever reason, the base gets unchunk loaded, I want to have this on me. Alright, here we are. Blocks of supremium coal. In this case, since I don't need, hundreds of thousands of blocks, I need, maybe like a couple hundred, maybe 1,000. I'm just going to vein mine it. I don't think I need to bring the builder over here. Right, because just off that's probably enough coal for me. Back at our home base. Now we want to swap out the recipe for supremium coal from this one to this one, just the unpacking recipe. And let's see. And I guess we don't need the block recipe anymore either. I remember I set those in the corner just to make sure, remember that they were temporary recipes. So now we should be able to make the, purple matter? How many do we need? 4? I hope we can do this now. 1, 2, 3, 4, next. Perfect, and it's only 128k bytes because most of it's, just unpacking the coal, so fire. Alright, 3 minutes of crafting. And lastly, I've been saving up a bunch of compressed dust from our sifting system, our sifter's right up there. Basically all I did was I turned off the extract here. And I'm hoping this is enough compressed dust to make those, I need 8 blocks of 5x compress. Yeah, I'm confident this is enough. Well, for someone that was confident he had enough, it's pretty awkward to fall short. So I'm going to need to make 2 more blocks of 5x compressed dust. I think dust is 1 EMC each, so I need a hammer 120,000 dust. Gross. Alright, so looking at our options, option 1 is to hammer, to manually vein mine hammer compressed sand for a while. Really don't want to do that. Actually, let me check something. Maybe if I can make a dimension of it, I'll do it. But no, there is no compressed sand dimension. I didn't think so. Okay, time for more reasonable option number 2. is to use the Material Stoneworks factory. And this machine is pretty fast and can make compressed dust. Now, the only issue is we need pink slime to do it. But we're going to need pink slime sooner or later anyway, so I may as well get it out of the way. Pink slime, let's see. Kill a pink slime, place some pink slime fluid, and I believe that requires the pink slime requires a slaughterhouse? Mob slaughter factory. Alright, so let's make one of these. So the mob slaughter factory, its main purpose is to kill passive mobs. And can I show range? I'm going to need some range upgrades. But it kills passive mobs and generates pink slime and I think like liquid meat off of them. So let me get the range upgrade and some power over here. Alright, here we go. So now that it has the range, it's just slaughtering our passives. I don't really need any of these, so I don't mind that they're being slaughtered. And yeah, we get a little bit of liquid meat and a little bit of pink slime. So we've run out of mobs, and I think I'm just gonna... I think I have a chicken spawner here or something, right? This one's chickens? Yeah. I'll just relocate this over there as well. Sorry, chickens. Alright, combining a chicken spawner with a slaughterhouse, we now have McDonald's. So our pink slime here has a few uses. It can be turned into pink slime ingots or reinforced pink slime by fluid sieving it, I guess. This has a few crafting uses, but nothing we need quite yet. Or I guess we could use crystalline pink slime ingots, but whatever. More immediately, if we can take a bucket of it, and if we just place it on the ground, it'll eventually spawn a pink slime mob, and that drops the pink slime, little pink slime balls that we need. And of course, since I suspect we'll need more than one, I'll just, very quickly run a root farm for a minute, and that should provide us with all the pink slime balls we could ever need. So my understanding is this bucket will turn, this bucket of pink slime will turn into a mob anytime now. Maybe the fluid just needs somewhere to flow. I came over here because I wanted to go somewhere where, it wouldn't wash away torches or anything important. Slime, please. No? Okay, fine. So, Material Stonework Factory. It can basically do anything that like Cobbleworks can do. If you look at the uses, it can so it can smelt, it can craft, and it can like hammer type tasks, and you can do any combination thereof. So like if you want, compress cobblestone, you can compress 4 times. Anyways, what we're after is which of these was it? We're after dust. In fact, we're after compressed dust, right? We can't do 2x compress it. So we want pickaxe, 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 crafting table, which is what goes in here. Pickaxe, 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 crafting table. And each step takes the same amount of time, so it's worth doing the craft at the end, because for one task of work, you get 9 times the output. So you want to set that in all of these. Let's see. I'll do the last one later, and then you hook up the wiring to it. I have power over here somewhere. That'll do. So you can see it's able to. Oh, I guess it does. It does have to wait for 9. Never mind. It's not quite as fast as I thought. Shoot, this machine's a lot slower than I thought. I thought it worked in like stacks. Let me see how much faster it gets with speed upgrades. Alright, it's a bit better with max upgrades. I think I'm getting this machine confused with the, there used to be one from, one of the Ender IO add-ons. I doubt it's in this pack. It had a very similar name, at least in 1.7. It was like from the Ender IO add-on mod, the one that added the Impulse Hopper, which eventually got added into vanilla Ender IO, and that one was crazy fast. That one did stacks at a time. But whatever, we make do with what we got. So this is a lot faster than we have, right now I just have a single pulverizer running. I question if it's actually faster, but whatever. I'm going to set up all 3 of these Material Stoneworks factories to make, compressed dust, and then we'll put that into here. Let's see. If I put it here, yeah. It'll automatically compress up to 3x. So we'll have 3 machines making compressed dust. And hopefully that means we can get the last 2 pieces in like a couple hours. These 6 took almost a full day for this pulverizer to make. So by my count, here is everything we need to make the transmutation table, with the exception of 2 blocks of compressed dust. Turns out the easiest item, at least technologically wise, to make is the last one. Anyways, instead of waiting for it, I've decided I'm just going to help it by hammering some compressed sand. And I calculate it takes about 200 stacks of compressed sand, so I can do, what is this, like 25 stacks per minute or 2. It shouldn't take that long. Well, here's potentially the world's biggest tower of compressed sand. And vein miner. If you hold down both mouse buttons, you eat as you mine. At least until you hit the vein miner limit. But we should be able to tear this entire tower down in pretty soon anyways. As long as I don't go running out of hammers. That wasn't too bad. Alright, and then all I have to do is compress all this sand. Hopefully we have enough. Let's see, 4x. If we can get 18, we're so close. Alright, whatever. I'm just gonna do a little bit more hammering and get the last piece of dust. Went and hammered out the last 5x compressed dust. So let's see if I can read my recipes right. Please. Oh shoot, what am I missing? Philosopher's Stone and 4 Supremium ingots. Alright. Easy stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. Missing 4 Solium. Well, alright. 1 second. One more time. 4 Supremium ingots. And our Philosopher's Stone. Those will be done crafting by the time I get over here, right? Hey, perfect. Transmutation table. Hello? Transmutation table? What's wrong? I have Philosopher's Stone in the wrong mode? How do I change modes with it? 1 second. Alright, don't know what did it. I just shift-clicked the recipe back in again, and it works. So, well, nope, now it doesn't work again. It's ghosting me. Hold on, take this out, put this... All I did was that, and it worked, but now it doesn't work. Why? Maybe now it'll work? Nope, all I did was... this, yeah, so... It thinks the recipe, well, my client thinks the recipe is right, but the server doesn't like it for some reason. Because when I try to take it out, let me see if an error shows up in the console. Nope. Huh, I'm flat out of ideas. Alright, I read online that you have to charge your Philosopher's Stone. The normal keybind for it is, whoops, that's not how you spell charge, is V, but V is also, you know, it's clobbered, does a bunch of other things, right? So it wasn't working. I had to rebind it, and then I just press that keybind a few times, and then you can charge. Then you can make it. Unfortunately, that uses up your Philosopher's Stone? No way, I was definitely expecting to get the stone back. Whoa, that really sucks. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna have to make another Philosopher's Stone, because... having the transmutation, I didn't, you know, make an extra of each of these matters thinking that would use up our Philosopher's Stone. Shoot, that really sucks. Alright, well, anyways, we have our transmutation. I was like 100% sure we would get the stone back, because all other crafting recipes would give you your Philosopher's Stone back. But whatever, enough complaining for now. What you can do is, in this UI, put any item in the flame slot, and you will learn it. And any item that has an EMC value can be learned. Let's see. So, well, I don't want to put my staff of traveling in there because it's unique. But any value or any item that can be learned can be put in there. And then afterwards, you see this EMC. This is like how many dollars you have, and you can buy these items back. I can buy my torches back. I can learn how to make the hammer, and for some reason I can't buy it back. I think it might have to be full durability. Yeah, and then now you can buy your hammer back. For some reason, it only lets me buy one. Oh, because its full cost is 16,000. That's why I couldn't see it before. So for now, we don't have a great way of generating EMC or money. But for now, I'm just gonna stuff it full of nether stars. These are have quite a bit of EMC each, and we have quite a bit of them. So now, yeah, now I can buy diamond hammers to my heart's content. Cool. So there's a few more things we can do with this. Let's see. What do I want to do first? Right, we can let's make one of these 64K storage component. I can learn it. Then I can grab 3 of them and use this to make a the next tier up. 256K storage component, learn it, grab 3 of these, and you kind of get where this is going, right? Now we can use this to make the 1,000, the 1 million, whatever one, learn it, repeat until we reach the top tier. I think that's only 2 tiers away. So having access to transmutation opens up a lot of options for things we can do in this pack. I'm still salty that it ate our stupid philosopher's stone, though. So yeah, now we can, with one click and 6.8 million whatever EMC, we can make these high tier storage components. And if we need more EMC, well, we just turn over to our nether star collection. Cool. And now that we have these, as I was mentioning, we can turn these into the high tier storage cells. Quartz glass. Come on. And then I can go ahead and replace all of our small drives with these massive drives. And then we don't have to store items in drawers anymore. All of our items can go in digital storage. Alright, let's wrap up this episode here. With the transmutation table, we now have access to, I'd say, half of the late game. The other half of the late game is behind the wand of animation. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.